Fantastic weekend. My name is Angela Petrilli here with the fine folks at Fishman for a brand new episode of the Riff Rundown. Today's episode is pre-recorded, but don't worry, we're still going to have a lot of fun today. So this is a song that I've gotten a ton of requests for since we started doing this riff rundown. We're going to be learning Linger by the Cranberries. Such a great song, something here for everybody. Again, 4 chords only in this song, which is super great for players of all levels today. I'm going to be teaching it on acoustic, but if you happen to only have an electric, totally cool. Make sure that whatever guitar you're playing is in standard tuning. All right, so again, this is a really fun song and it's super fun to play. Also, too, have a slide handy. You're going to need a slide for this lesson today. The guitar solo is played with a slide, so it'll be a lot of fun. Not too bad. We're going to keep it on one string, too. So, you know, I always like to ask a question, folks, so let me know where you're tuning in from and your favorite singer. All right, so where you're tuning in from and your favorite singer. So happy to have you all here today. So here is Linger by the Cranberries. That's the song, folks. Again, verse, chorus, instrumental, those chords. That's it. 4 chords. Got some, so it's D, A, C, and G. Got some suspended chords in there too. We'll go ahead and talk about that. So let's go ahead and look at the top, all right? So the intro here is going to be 2 little bits, all right? So what we're going to do is we're just going to pluck the notes that are in these chords, all right? So the very intro looks like this, and it sounds like this too. Very beautiful little progression here that goes and kicks off the song. So let's go ahead and talk about that. So what we're going to do here, I want you to get your 2nd finger, placing that on the 2nd fret of that E string. All right, it's our F sharp. You're going to get your 3rd finger here. You're going to place that on the 3rd fret of the B string. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to pluck from the open G string, open B string, or not open B string. We're playing the D note there. Okay, so play the D note, and then the F sharp where your 2nd finger is. All right, so without the commentary, it sounds like this. Now, we're going to do here, we're going to play this 4 times, all right? So it'll sound like this. Now, what I'd like you to do, I've got a pick here, or a plectrum, wherever part of the world you're from, all right? Pluck downwards on the G string, downwards on the B string, and upwards on that high E. All right, kind of doing a verified, little different way of doing alternate picking here. Varied way to do alternate picking, okay? Down, down, up, down, down, up. All right, so that's what we're doing there. Now, the next chord here we're gonna play is a D major. So all you're gonna do, you're going to get that 1st finger there, placing it on the 2nd fret of the G string. All right, so it'll sound like this. Just like that. All right, so what we're going to do here, we're going to go ahead and repeat each of these 2 chords 4 times. All right, so here we go. We'll do it slow and then I'll build up the speed. All right, so here we go. more time. So there's that intro, and if you notice, if you listen to the song, it kind of fades, then the song comes right back in. It's really, really beautiful. Really, really beautiful. So let's go ahead and look at the chords here. All right, so the main chords that we have, it's going to be a D major, it's going to be an A major, C major, and G major. Okay, D, A, C, and G. Really beautiful progression here, all right? So what we're looking at here when we're strumming this, all right, keep in mind, we're covering the verses and the chorus with these 4 chords, all right? We're going to include a couple suspended chords in this as well. So when we're looking at the first D chord here, for my beginners who are watching, here's how we're going to play this. First finger, 2nd fret of the G string, that's your A note, that's your 5th. Your 2nd finger is on the F sharp, 2nd fret of the E string, and your 3rd finger is on the 3rd fret of the B string. That note is D. So you're going to strum from the D string downward, just like that. All right. Now, with the song here, check out how this progression goes, okay? I'm just going to play to the D to the A chord. Have a listen to this. So what's happening here is with this D chord and the A chord, we're adding other suspended chords, in this case sus2s. So what we're going to do here, we already know how to play our D chord, all right? Awesome, check that off the list, right? To play a D sus2, all we're going to do is lift that 2nd finger, all right? This is going to expose the open E string, so it'll sound like this. Hear that? That's a suspended 2. So we are releasing the F sharp, which is our 3rd, and then exposing the E note, which is our 2. So there's D, D sus2. Okay. So how we're going to strum this, we're going to give it 3 downward strokes on the D chord and 2 upward strokes on the D sus2. That's where we lift up that middle finger. So it looks like this. Then we're going to give another downstroke, bring that middle finger back to play a D chord. All right, so that's what's happening there on this first part here. So let's go ahead and do that together. Now after we play that, we're going to remain on the D chord. I want you to go up, down, up. Okay, so let's do that again nice and slowly here. That again. A little faster. That's the strumming pattern there. Now, I'm someone who likes to strum from the elbow. If you're a little bit more comfortable strumming with your wrist, that's fine. I like how the guitar sounds, right? There's a little bit more sustain to my ear when I strum from the elbow. That's just me. If you're more comfortable strumming from the wrist, go ahead and do that. You do you, all right? So that's the strumming pattern there. Now we're gonna go to our A. So now, strumming pattern is going to stay the same here. We're going to change the chord just a little bit. So to play this A chord here, this is how I like to play my A chord. 2nd finger, 2nd fret of that D string, that note is E. 3rd finger, 2nd fret of the G string, that note is A. And then we have our 4th finger here on the 2nd fret of the B string. So that's our C sharp, all right? Our 1, 3, 5, A is our 1, C sharp is our 3, and E is our 5. We got them all here. All right, so strum from the A string. Okay, just like that. Give that A 3 downward strokes. Now we're going to play an A sus2. All right, all we're going to do here, lift the 4th finger up. Okay, so now that C sharp, right, when we move that finger out of the way, we now have that B note, which is our 2. And the chord sounds like that, our A sus2. All right, it's a beautiful chord, one of my personal favorites. All right, so what we're going to do here, the A sus2, 2 upward strokes there, just like we did with the D sus2 previously. Okay, so we've got this. Guess what? Go back to A major, downward stroke. Let's do that again. And then another up, down, up on the A chord. Up, down, up. Let's do that again with the A chord. Then we'll go ahead and add the D and D sus2 in a minute. All right, so here we go. Faster. Now let's add that D and D sus2 to our A and A sus2. Here we go. Now play it a little faster. I think we're getting the hang of this. All right, so here we go. One more time. A sus2. Pretty cool, right? A lot of nice movement here. Now for my super beginners, you're like, oh, I don't know what the suspended chords are. It's fine. Don't play them. It's okay. You can just go. It'll still sound great. It's an A major. If that works for you, great. Again, these lessons are on YouTube. If you're enjoying the lessons, be sure to subscribe, obviously, right? The link is somewhere down here, all right? Click on that link, subscribe. It helps the cause. If you don't want to use suspended, no problem. You can always go back, and once you feel up to it, then you can go back and see how we did those suspended chords, all right? So I'm rooting for you, all right? So now we've got those 2 down. Let's look at the C chord here. First finger, all right? First fret of that B string, that's our C note. Second finger, 2nd fret of the D string, that's our E. And then 3rd finger is on our C note, 3rd fret, the A string. We're going to strum from the C, or the A string downward. That's our C note. Just like that, okay? So, strumming pattern is going to be exactly the same. No suspension stuff going on here, just the C chord. All right, so that's all that's happening there. And guess what? Then we go to a G after this. First finger, 2nd fret of the A string, that's our B note. 3rd finger, or 2nd finger, 3rd fret of the E string, that's our G right here. I always do that. I always do that on these live lessons. 2nd finger, 3rd fret. There you go. Okay, now we got our 3rd finger here, B string, D note, 3rd fret of that B string, 4th finger. We're gonna go ahead and place that on the 3rd fret of that E string. That's our G. Just like that. Nice full big G chord, all right? And guess what? Strumming pattern, let's keep it the same. All right? So I think we got the hang of this. Let's go ahead and do this slow, incorporating all of these chords. We're including the suspended chords. It's going to be the 6 chords here. And we've got most of the song, folks. Good job. All right, so here we go. I'm going to start it a little slower, okay? Then we'll build up the speed. Here we go. Let's do it. To our C, our G. Let's do that one more time. A little faster. So there it is, folks. That's like the whole song right there. Done. We did it. Okay. So now, remember how I said a moment ago, grab your slide. Okay. So this is the one I'm grabbing here. Now, I picked this song because one, the chords are really easy, and two, the slide solo, to my ear, sounds like it's only on one string. It's a good beginner level slide to look at. So I've got a slide here. Now, if you guys want to watch a more in-depth lesson of me teaching slide, again, it's like a bite-sized video, it's about 9 minutes long, go to the Fishman website. I'll put the link in the video description here to talk about the real intricacies of really starting to get into playing slide. So you can check out that video. I'll put a link in the description here, but I will do my best to talk about some of that in this lesson today. So we want to do here, so I like to use brass. I like to put it on my third finger. I like a brass slide. Could you use glass? Could you use steel? Could you use ceramic? Yes. Brass is my favorite, both on acoustic and electric guitar, all right? So when we're playing this, all right, we don't want to press. If there's one thing you take away from this, do not press, because what's going to happen is that slide, see how you can hear the frets? We don't want that. Slide. We are using a slide. Slide over the frets, okay? Do not press, all right? So the solo sounds like this. I'll play it a little bit slower than how it is on the record, all right? And what I'm gonna do here, sometimes I like to use a pick when I play slide, but with this, I'm gonna put the pick away, all right? I'm just gonna use my thumb and my first finger to play this. So here is that solo. And that's a solo. See how it's all on one string? Pretty easy, all right? So what we're gonna do here, again, do not press. Notice how I have my first and second finger here behind the slide, flat. Reason being is they're acting as our buffer. If I were to lift this, notice. See how we get a little bit of that kickback from the buzzing of the other strings? I don't really want that here. I wanna keep it nice and clean. So by placing the first and second finger on top of the strings, do not press, okay? They're acting as buffers. Now, I'm using my thumb, I'm placing my thumb on top of the D string. I'm not gonna do anything, I'm just leaving it there to rest, okay? And my first finger is plucking upward on that G string second fret. This is our A note. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna slide. Remember, do not press, we're sliding to the 7th fret of that G string, all right? That's our D note. So we're going from A to D. Now, when we're playing slide here, unlike when we're playing regular chords, how I tell you to get as close to the fret as you can without touching it, with slide, I want you to get directly on top of that fret. Because if you are just before it, listen here. Sounds out of tune, doesn't it? But when I am right on top, makes a world of difference. So when I say 2nd fret to 7th fret when we're playing slide, get directly on top of those frets, all right? So let's do that again, directly on top of the 2nd fret G string, sliding to the 7th, right on top of that 7th fret G string. Here we go again. Give it a little wiggle, all right? Going back and forth, that's how we get our vibrato. We can't bend, but we can do a little bit of vibrato by going just ahead, just behind the fret. Just like that. Now, we're going from our 7th fret, that G string, we're gonna go up to the 14th fret, okay? Going back to A. And again, don't press, wiggle slightly, all right? to get that sustain. Here we go, from the top. Wiggle. And wiggle again. Do that again, last time. Just like that. All right, this takes a little bit of practice. It's a nice touch here. Two things I want you to keep in mind: don't press. Don't press. Let the weight of the slide do the work for you. Just give it a little bit of a wiggle when you're directly on top of the fret. Okay, one last time. Okay, just like that. All right, so now that we're at that 14th fret of that G string, we're going to slide back to the 9th fret. In this case, that note is an E. Okay, so, and again, we want to get right on top of that fret. Notice how I have my first and second finger behind the slide. If I didn't, it would start to sound a little sloppy. I'll show you what I mean. This is what we don't want. See how we hear like the rest of the strings? We don't want that. So by placing the first, second finger as a buffer, it's going to help you a lot. All right, let's do that again. 14th fret of the G string to the E on the 9th fret. Just like that. Okay, from the top, let's go ahead and do these three parts together. Cool stuff, right? Let's do that one more time. So that's that 9th fret of the G string. Now what we're going to do here, go to the 7th fret of that G string, that's our D note, and slide it all the way to the 12th fret of the G string, which is our G. So 7th fret to 12th fret G. Just like that. Let's do that again. Remember, don't press, get right on top of those frets. Let's do that a little louder. And give it a little wiggle. Okay, so now, next part here, we're already at that 12th fret. We're going to slide it to the 14th. So G to A. And we're going to hit that A note twice. Remember those buffer fingers, first and second. Okay, now let's put that in context from the top. One more time. Now from there, the end of our solo, 9th fret G, that's our E note, to our D note at the 7th fret. All right, so let's go ahead and do the whole thing. We'll look at the outro and we are done, folks. Again, if you're enjoying these lessons, be sure to subscribe to the channel. It helps the cause. And if you want to see all the cool stuff Fishman is up to, including this cool R Spectrum DI that I'm using and the Fishman Matrix Infinity Enhanced pickups that I got in here, click the link in the video description. All right, so here we go. From the top, here's the entire solo. Just like that. Isn't that neat? So that's what's happening there, all right? So if we add a little speed, sounds pretty cool, right? So keep that in mind. If there's anything you learn from this, do not press with your slide, okay? Let it slide on top the strings, all right? And get right on top of that fret. That's how we're gonna get that really true note. We don't want it sounding flat, we don't want it sounding sharp. So right on top of that fret. So don't worry, there's gonna be more lessons with slide in the future, but thought I'd include that here in this lesson today. So a little bit of a beginner into slide. And again, if you want to watch more with me teaching the introductory slide, go ahead and check out Fishman's YouTube channel. I'll put the video in the video description. You guys can check out the rest of that, like 9-10 minute video where I'm talking about slide. Okay, so the outro here, based on those two chords that we had at the very top of the intro, right? So we're basing it off of that, or at least not me, Cranberries were, okay? So it's gonna sound like this. So get your third finger, third fret of that B string, that's your D note, and your second finger, second fret of the high E, which is your F sharp. We're gonna do this, open G string to B string to G string. So it's gonna sound like this. Or let me do that again. So it's gonna sound like this. Again, a little dissonant, it's super cool, all right? So if we're calling out those notes there, G, F sharp, D, G, F sharp, D, G, F sharp. Without the commentary, here it is. Let's do that one more time. Pretty cool, right? Now, let's go ahead and make that a D major chord, putting that first finger on the second fret of the G string. That's our A. Let's go ahead and now do the same thing, this time with that added A note. Okay, let's do that again without the extra D note in there. Let's do that again. Now, with our, let's call it D over G, okay? We're gonna do both parts. D major. Again, very, very cool song. That's the entire song, folks. Those chords. So that A with the sus2 to C to G. It's a really full, beautiful song. The melodies in here are great. Again, the solo couldn't have been easier, right? All on one string here, as far as my ear can tell. All on one string, using that slide. Keeping in mind those things I said, getting right on top of the fret, not pressing as we have that slide in. Me personally, I like a slide that's a little bit heavier, that does a little bit more of that work for me. Again, that's what works for me. Some folks like a really light slide. I like one that's pretty heavy. So, totally up to you. Try out a couple, see what works for you, all right? But we'll be coming back to this in a future lesson. Again, I want to say thank you to the folks at Fishman for helping me do these week after week. I most certainly want to thank all of you who tune in and who have made these riff rundowns just so much fun. It has been such a blast helping you all learn how to play music. It's been so wonderful. And again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, go ahead and do that. And as always, wishing you so much success in your musical journey. You all take care.